Savannah, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of your husband. I know that this is a heartbreaking experience, but death is a part of life, and no one can escape it. I'm sure that he did the best he could. In fact, Jim's battle with cancer was a true inspiration to us all. Thanks for your condolences, Mom. Jim had been fighting cancer with incredible resilience for almost 3 years. We had our share of tears, but we also had so many happy memories. I'll cherish those memories forever. I'm still grieving, but I'm starting to feel stronger, Mom. It's a shame that you and Dad couldn't make it to my husband's funeral yesterday, though. Yes, and we're really, truly sorry about that. As we get older, our bodies start to show the wear and tear of time. Just yesterday, I had a minor heart attack which caused immense pain in my chest. And I couldn't even breathe. Your dad was worried about my health, so we decided to stay home so I could rest and he could keep an eye on me. I apologized for not being able to be there for you, Mom. I hope you understand that I've been preoccupied with my husband's funeral. You know, it took time with the arrangements and stuff. Anyways, do you feel better? Oh, yes. I took some rest and now I'm feeling much better. But Savannah, where will you be staying now? I heard that you sold all of your valuables and even your house to take care of your husband's treatment costs, huh? About that, I know this is a big ask, but I'm wondering if you would be willing to let me stay at your place for a while? I'm completely broke and I'm really struggling to make ends meet. I promise that I'll work as hard as I can to get back on my feet. I'll also start saving money to rent my own place as soon as possible. Well, we'd be glad to help you out, but I have received word that you are in a state of financial distress as a result of your association with loan sharks. Is that correct? Yes, Mom, I'm also dealing with those people. Honestly, my husband's medical expenses were too expensive for me to handle. I went to the bank, but they didn't agree to lend us any money due to my bad credit score. I really had no other choice but to borrow from loan sharks. Honestly, I can't believe that you're stupid enough to get a loan from those gangsters. I know that they've been to your house and workplace several times demanding payment, and they even beat you up a few times. Is that right? How did you find out about that? Well, if you already know, then I have no reason to hide it anymore. It's true what you just said. They began by threatening me, but their aggression escalated over time, culminating in violence. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but I didn't want to worry you or anyone in the family. Have you lost your mind, Savannah? Seriously, if I let you stay in my house, those racketeers would show up every day and cause us a lot of trouble. How will me, your father, and your brother live in peace, knowing that there are criminals who could potentially harm us? What kind of person are you, putting your own family at risk like that? Please, Mom, just hear me out, okay? I know loan sharks are dangerous, but I'm doing everything I can to pay them back. This is a difficult time for me, but I promise it's not forever. I'll work tirelessly to pay off my loan. I'm so close to being debt-free. Then everything will be solved. Close to being debt-free? Don't make me laugh. You think I'm stupid enough to believe that? How are you going to clear your debt with the nickels and dimes you earn every month? Your monthly salary isn't even enough to cover your basic necessities, let alone paying your debt. Save your breath. Don't even bother trying to convince me to let you in my house. Please believe in me, Mom. I'm working 2 jobs and I'm cutting back on all my expenses. It'll be a matter of time until our family ends up broke because of your stupid debt. Look, I know for a fact that if I ever let you set foot in my house, you're gonna come crawling to me, begging for help with your financial issues. Or even worse, you're probably gonna rip off all of me and your dad's money. Mom, I know you're angry with me, but I'm begging you to have some sympathy for Joey. She's your granddaughter and she's only 6 years old. If we don't have a place to live, we'll be on the streets. For real. Can you imagine your only granddaughter living on the streets? Stop whining and complaining. I'm not falling for your trap by mentioning Joey. You think you're so important because you gave birth to Joey? Well, guess what? She's not my only granddaughter. I also have your brother, Max. And when he gets married, he'll give me even more beautiful grandchildren. Okay, fine. I can understand that I'm not welcome in your house, but I'm only asking you for one favor. Can you please let Joey stay with you guys? Considering my current situation, I'm afraid I won't be able to provide my beloved daughter with enough love, care, and a good environment for her to develop both physically and mentally. I promise to make a plan to pay off my debt and not to let it impact our family's finances. Just please allow Joey to live with you guys. Well, maybe I can agree with that, but give me a few minutes to think. Wait, I just thought of something. The moneylenders also know about your daughter, don't they? Well, yeah. Why do you ask that question? So, if she stays with us, those thugs could also come to my house and use Joey as a hostage to force you to pay for your loan. No way. I don't want to deal with those criminals and be harassed by them day after day. Look, I'm not going to let you or Joey stay with us. Both of you stay away from our peaceful life as far as possible. What? How could you even say no to an innocent 6-year-old girl like Joey? She doesn't know anything, and she has nothing to do with my debt. Can you please reconsider your decision? Look, I said it, and this is the last time I'm gonna repeat myself. I don't want you or Joey to appear in my life ever again. It's your own problem, so why don't you take matters in your own hands? Don't be a parasite and live upon your own parents like that. Mom, but... I officially announce that you and I are no longer mother and daughter. Next time when you see the moneylenders, tell that to their face so they won't disturb me or your dad. You've been a burden to us since you were born, and now you have the audacity to ask us for help? If I knew one day this would happen, I would have cut ties with you long ago. Savannah? Are you there? We're in big trouble. Can you help us out? Mom? What's the matter? I thought you already cast me out and deleted my phone number. Anyways, make it quick, 'cause I'm in the middle of my work, so I won't be able to talk to you for long. Who do you think you are to talk to your own mom with that attitude? Look, you need to help your brother because he's in hot water. You mean Max? What happened to him? Your brother's gambling addiction got him into big financial trouble. Now he got into debt because he was gambling away all of his money. He even mortgaged our house for a loan despite not affording the monthly payments. We're in a really bad position right now. If we don't do anything about it, there's a high chance we'll lose our house. Goodness, why am I not even surprised? You already know that Max is addicted to gambling a long time ago, but you never did anything to stop him. When I warned you about the consequences, you told me to shut up. Mind my own business and that he was just gambling for fun. Honestly, Max being in debt is the outcome that you could have easily avoided, but you chose not to. I know, Savannah, and I regret not having taken any action. But what's the point of crying over spilled milk? The most pressing matter at hand is to find a solution to the current predicament. Would you agree, my dear? You know what they say. Blood is thicker than water. We're family, right? So there's no reason for you not to lend us a helping hand in this difficult time. So, after all the things you did to me, including faking being sick so you could avoid attending my husband's funeral and refusing to help me and my daughter, suddenly we become family again? Please, spare me the act. I've already seen past your mask. What? How did you find out about that? I can already see the wheels turning in your head, wondering how I found out about your malingering. Well, I came all the way to your house and I asked the neighbors myself. Unsurprisingly, they told me that you were strutting around the house like a spoiled hen as usual. I could easily guess your true intention of not going to my husband's funeral. Either you wanted to avoid getting yourself into trouble with the loan sharks, or you were just too afraid that I would ask you for help. Oh, Savannah, please don't misunderstand me like that. I didn't attend the funeral because I wanted to keep you safe. I couldn't bear to tell you in person that I wanted to cut ties with you. I knew it would have come as a big shock to you, and I didn't want to add to your pain.
You said it yourself. You have cut me off from your life. Why do you suddenly come back and ask me to help Max with his problems?
Well, who else could I be asking other than you? You, Max, your father, and Joey are my only family in this world.
And how am I supposed to help you out when I myself already have a problem with finances? Do you know that me and Joey are now living in a homeless shelter? It's all thanks to your kindness, Mom.
What? Homeless shelter? You can't even afford to rent public housing or a small apartment? I thought you would have changed by now. Gosh, 1 year has passed and you're still dirt poor like the last time I saw you. If I knew that you're still living like a rat like this, I wouldn't bother wasting my time talking to you. Just get out of my life. I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. I really appreciate it. And I would also be more thankful if you don't suddenly appear in my life just to talk down to me like this. Just delete my number. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll delete your number even if you didn't tell me to. Gosh, if anyone finds out that I have a homeless daughter like you, I'd be so embarrassed that I could sink through the floor. Hey, Savannah, can you explain something to me?
You again? I thought you already removed my number from your phone. What's the problem this time?
Look, I know this sounds crazy, but Max told me he saw you getting out of a fancy car in a stunning dress. He said he was sure it was you because he recognized your birthmark on your shoulder. I don't know what to think. Maybe he was daydreaming, or maybe he mistook you for someone else. But I had to ask. Was it you?
Well, he wasn't wrong. It was me. And I also saw Max searching garbage for food or something to sell. What happened to you guys? Where are you living now?
Our living situation doesn't have anything to do with you. But you? There's no way an impoverished girl with a large debt like you can have an expensive car and luxury clothes like that. It just doesn't add up. How on earth could it happen? I know. This must be a joke. You may be able to fool Max, but I'm not easily misled.
Well, suit yourself. You can choose to believe it or not, but it won't change the fact that I'm now living the best life I could have, alongside the people that love and care for me. I would hazard a guess that you're still finding it difficult to make ends meet. Would I be correct?
Explain to me what happened. How did you get so rich all of a sudden? Wait. Don't tell me that sex worker is your new job.
Well, what else could you possibly do other than leeching off rich men? Seriously, if you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say anything at all. Anyways, back to my story. I was minding my business on my way to work when I witnessed a crime. A woman was having her purse snatched, and I knew I had to do something. I chased after the robber and was able to get the purse back.
Let me guess. You found a lot of money in the purse and you just decided to keep it for yourself. How convenient for you. If I had known how quickly you can make money like that, I would have told Max to do the same thing.
Could you stop interrupting me like that? Goodness, you're just as impolite as the last time we talked to each other.
Fine. Go on. I can't believe you dare to talk to your own mom in that manner.
Okay, so after I returned the purse to the woman, she invited me to dinner. We shared our stories with each other, and it turned out that she was a wealthy woman named Daisy, whose husband, Mr. Johnson, owned a famous fine dining chain. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson couldn't have children together. So after hearing my story, they expressed their sympathy and decided to adopt me as their daughter and Joey as their grandchild. They were also kind enough to help me pay off the rest of my loan.
Whoa, hold on right there. So you're telling me you were adopted by a wealthy family? I thought that only happened in fairy tales. How could you strike it lucky like that? This is totally unfair. You're living the high life while we're stuck living in a tent on the streets. Unacceptable.
Well, I guess that's what they always say. When one door closes, another one opens. Actually, it's not unfair at all. In fact, you guys got exactly what you deserved. You ruthlessly told me that you no longer considered me as your daughter anymore. And neither Dad nor Max lifted a finger to stop you. You were all on the same boat, determined to kick me out of the house without even a moment's hesitation. What's even more devastating is that after finding out I was living in the homeless shelter, you didn't offer to help me. On the contrary, you even had the nerve to turn your back on me one more time.
Honey, I know what we did was totally wrong, but we don't deserve to be punished like this. Look, Savannah, Mrs. Johnson seems like a kind woman who would be compassionate to what we're going through at the moment. Would you please ask her to adopt your brother as well? Maybe then she would let us stay in her big house.
Abigail, you really have no sense of shame, do you? Why would Mrs. Johnson adopt Max when he still has his biological parents on his side? You and the rest of our family abandoned me when I needed you the most. And now that my life is finally starting to look up, you come crawling back to me, expecting help? What kind of person are you? Honestly, you shouldn't have shown your face at all.
Savannah, please have mercy on us. I never thought things would turn out this way so quickly. Please think about all the years I've spent raising you to be the beautiful young woman you are today.
I appreciate all the time and effort you put into raising me, but I can't forget how you abandoned me when I needed you the most. You were the one who cut ties with me, and you treated me like I was some kind of plague. You didn't even bother to weather the storm with me when I was at my lowest point. Honestly, how could you do that to your own flesh and blood?
I know. But please think about Joey too. I bet she misses seeing her uncle and grandparents very much. You know what? I was the one who introduced you to Jim, your late husband. Do you remember that? You two were so good together, and all of your friends were so jealous when you got married to Jim.
Yeah. You wanted us to become a couple because you were after his money. But then you strongly disapproved of our marriage when you found out he was an orphan. And after we got married, you encouraged me to divorce him when he got sick and his company went bankrupt. But I was determined to stand by my husband's side. So now you want me to thank you for introducing me to Jim? After everything you've done? You're shameless, Mom. Completely shameless.
Oh, come on, sweetheart. Don't you see? Everything I did was for your own good. If you had divorced Jim like I told you to, you wouldn't have been deep in debt like you were back then. It was you who chose not to take my advice. So why are you blaming me for not helping you, huh? Look, just have a word with Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Tell them to let us move into their house.
Seriously, after getting to know how you treated me? Mrs. Johnson was livid with you. I don't think she even wants to see your face. So don't waste your time begging anymore. It's no use. Why did you appear at my wedding? I don't recall having invited you. And more importantly, how did you find out about it?
Oh, Savannah. You might not know it, but I was watching over you the whole time. I know everything about you and your new family.
You mean stalking me?
Good joke. But serious talk here. You could have chosen anyone. But why an ordinary cashier like Michael? That part I can't understand. I mean, I didn't even know that job exists.
Well, there are more important things in a marriage than money, you know. Michael always lights up my world with his positive energy. And we truly love and cherish each other. By the way, I've had enough of your constant texts and calls. I'm also tired of you showing up at my front door and making a fuss. I know Max got himself into trouble again, but I know why I'm gonna help you guys. I've already agreed to send you a monthly allowance and rented you a small apartment. That's the best I can do.
Please help us, dear daughter. Max got back to his old way again. He swindled the money you sent me, gambled it all away, and ended up in debt again. And I can't believe he was stupid enough to actually steal a car and got caught by the police only 30 minutes after that. Now the victim demands $50,000 for restitution, or else your brother will be sentenced to 5 years in prison. Please do something about it, Savannah.
I know you told me about that. But this time I'm not gonna help you anymore. It's all your fault that he became like this. You didn't do or say anything to stop him, and you tolerated each and every one of his crimes. Now it's time for him to man up and take responsibility for his action.
Please, honey. You know Max is my precious son. I can't stand seeing him being locked up in jail like that. You saw me kneel down and beg for your forgiveness at your wedding. Didn't you? I know we did you wrong. But please give us another chance.
It's none of my concern. You should consider yourself lucky that I even let you sit through my whole wedding, even though you cried and made a scene the whole time. My adoptive parents were this close to calling the bodyguard to kick you out. I told you already. I'm not going to help you anymore. Max has to learn his lesson, and so do you. My mother, Abigail, was desperate to help my brother Max avoid getting arrested for the crime he had committed. She couldn't afford to pay the restitution the court had ordered, so she came up with a crazy plan. She used a fake gun to rob a bank. She was arrested almost immediately and sentenced to 2 years in prison. I do feel sorry for Max and my mom. I visited them in jail every now and then, but they always became angry when they saw me. They threw fits and blamed me for their being in jail. They seemed to be unable to see the error of their ways. After my dad left alone in the house, I invited him to live with us and my husband Michael. However, he refused, feeling ashamed of what he had done to me. He chose to live by himself in the apartment that I had rented for him. I hope that in the future, I'll be able to convince him to move in with us. After all, we are still a family. Looking back at everything I went through, I am so grateful for my life. There were times when I thought I couldn't make it, and I even considered suicide, but I found the courage to overcome tremendous challenges in life. I hope that my story can inspire others who are still fighting their own battles. No matter how difficult things may seem, it's important to never give up. There is always hope, and you are not alone.